Alright, welcome back to Matilda Builds. A little bit of flex here. I've been a little busy, as you can see. Full diamond armor, diamond sword, diamond tools, lots of iron, lots of emerald. Okay, let's get to work. So I said I was going to work on the base, and I don't really know what I'm going to call it, but I do like it. Maybe a half tower. It's very cozy. I've expanded the storage systems. These two columns on the end are just half a chest, so but it did expand the storage out. I'll explain this in a minute. Okay, let's look at the top of the base right now. I know it looks kind of wild, but it looks great from a distance. So all those trees are covering my massive storage intake. And yes, I have made use of bubble columns. Alright, let's get out. I'm trying very hard not to pan up because I don't want to ruin the surprise. Pay no attention to the zombies in the wall. I need to light up that cave. Okay, so here it is. That is my monster farm and my AFK tower. This sidewalk that we've been walking on actually serves a dual purpose. I have about a zillion hoppers out here shipping all of my drops from this, from my iron farm, and from my micro farms, all to that red box chest in my base. So let's see if we can get this monster farm in action. Another bubble elevator. I only died twice making it, so that's got to be some kind of record. Alright. And the purpose of getting up so high is to reduce the spawns on the ground. And this theoretically leaves the farm one of the only places for the hostiles to spawn. See, there's a spider that's demonstrating the farm for us. There'll be a few things that'll go, and of course we're right here with the clouds, and that obscures our view a little bit. Alright, we're going to cut away and come back. Never mind. I was going to say we're going to cut away and come back when there's drops, but there just were drops. Alright, let's give it one more cycle. I've got 64 items in my hopper clock, so there we go. Things are dropping. It's a creeper, a spider. Anyway. Now, the bubble elevator brings us up, but I don't have a bubble elevator down, but that's okay. That still works. And we'll still get a few drops since we were up there. Oops. Came right off the sidewalk. Let's see if we can stay here at ground zero and see the drops. Here we go. So cool. So cool. I get the occasional witch in there too. Alright. We're going to cut over to the creative world and I will show you the mechanics of that monster farm. Alright, so we're here in our test world. And the reason we had the floors laid out in the monster farm was in a diamond pattern was because of the way water acts. See, from the central point, there are 7 blocks. And if you set up a dispenser and observer system, see, there's an observer, there's a dispenser, and we have just a block for space, and this, and no, that's not gonna work. Let me try that again. That'll work, but not for what I'm trying to demonstrate. Alright, so it's that, and that. That's what I want to show. Okay. Alright, so the observer, I'll show you, it's facing down. It's looking for changes in this block right here. So if I were to make a change, then that releases the water. So change, release water, another change, it pulls it back. So the premise behind the farm is you have some kind of hopper clock out here that powers the first observer. So you come down here, and observer, and you put your redstone there, and then you just build up from there. So you have observer, dispenser, filler. Observer, dispenser, filler. Observer, dispenser, filler. You see where I'm going with this. Okay. So what happens is, if you build your floors out in the same level as the dispenser, and then all you have to do is set up some kind of clock that changes this redstone, which causes this first observer to change, and that triggers all of the observers to change up here, because this observer powers this one, which will release water, which causes this observer to notice a change, which fires this dispenser, and on up. So I've got this timed on a hopper clock with 64 items in it. Seemed to work best. You may find a different number that works, but that's the premise. And let's see, did we ever build a hopper clock? I'll show you how to build one real quick. They're super easy. Well, they're super easy if you know how to build it. I guess they're super hard if you don't. So you start, oh, I need sticky pistons. I always forget those. Okay, so you put down a redstone, and you put down sticky piston, and hopper, crouch click, take that one up, crouch click, because you want them feeding into each other, and then you get 64 of something. And you just put those in there. And you get your comparators. And redstone dust, let's see. Nope, 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 nope. Almost. The comparator comes off of the hoppers, not the pistons. Okay. So then you go redstone dust. Nope, nope, nope. You still have to do repeater. Repeater. Now you do redstone, redstone, redstone. Redstone, oops. Redstone, redstone. Okay. I just took some out so I'd hurry up with the example. So if you have redstone here, see it's dull now, and then as soon as the clock makes the redstone fire, then this turns on. So if you have an observer here, okay, so if you have an observer, then that is a change in the block, and that will cause the signal change. So pretty cool, huh? Alright, let's cut back over to the survival world. Okay, so we're back to the survival spawner, and if you see on top, I have more than a 7x7 block on top. I had to make it 15 by 15, and that is to keep the light levels down low enough for my hostile mobs to spawn. And I had to also come back over there after the fact and I had a whole bunch of torches because I had creepers and spiders and you name it spawning on top, which reduces the numbers out of my farm. Lots of volunteers showing how it's working here. That's cool. Alright, so very easy. I just used spruce planks and cobblestone. I did not put a bubble elevator here, and the reason I didn't is because redstone and water don't mix, and I had enough water in that build as it was. But we'll go up and look at the hopper clock that I just demonstrated in the creative world. Oops. There we go. So here's our hopper clock. Here's that observer, and it's noticing the change in that block. And you hear all of the dispensers firing. And I did put a torch here because I have a few open blocks by necessity that could be spawning points if I didn't light it up a little bit. Okay. And I just left this ladder here in case I have any maintenance I need to do. Or want to show off how a hopper clock works. Alright, let's head over to the villager trading hall. The iron farm is still doing well. And I hooked up about a zillion hoppers to that. You can see in the distance. So I don't have to go and collect them out of that chest anymore, so that's helpful. It is still fun going over there watching it work though. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've planted these really, really big spruce trees. If you plant 4 spruce saplings in a square, and hit them with bone meal, they turn the ground into this weird looking mycelium, which is fine. But one tree is just about a full stack of logs. So, alright, so I did something different since last time in here, and I've just learned a little bit. I came in here one day, and these 3 villagers were gone. I don't know what happened to them. I suspect they got attacked through the wall. So I brought out the whole structure by 1 block, so it's now 2 blocks between the outside and the villagers, and I haven't had any more trouble. This is also a half slab, so nothing can spawn in here, and it's two full blocks plus a half of a third. That's still too short for iron golems to spawn in, but just fine for me. I had all this open, I removed all of these, but then these guys stopped facing their own workstation and they would never reset their trade, so I had to put the columns back up. That doesn't seem to bother them facing these guys, but when they face the guys behind them, these villagers would not ever reset their spawns, which was terrible. So just live and learn, I guess. They're all still in their minecarts, so they can't walk around and cause havoc. Yeah, they can't sleep, but I really don't need them to sleep because they will still reset their trades because they have a workstation accessible to them. So this seems to work pretty well. I've got... Oh, I'll show you this guy. This guy right here sells me all of my weapons. So, my sword, my axe. This guy sells me all of my diamond gear. This guy sells me all of my tools. I've actually got 2 of those guys. And I make a lot of emeralds off of this guy, this toolsmith, and my weaponsmith because they all buy iron. And I have an iron farm, so that's an easy way to make emeralds. I make so many emeralds, as my intro demonstrated over there with my blocks. I make so many that I don't have to worry about the cost of my trades. See, these guys, some of these trades are just really expensive. But it doesn't matter because I have more than enough emeralds. So this is a 28 mending. That's a terrible price. Some people you'll see online who will get their trading villagers infected with a zombie and then cure them, and yeah, that will bring the cost down, and more power to them. I prefer just to have a surplus of emeralds and pay whatever price they ask. I do need a cleric, which requires a brewing stand, but that will also require me to go a little further in the nether, and I'm not quite prepared to do that yet. A cleric is good because he will sell, oh gosh, what are those things called? Ender pearls. And he will also buy all my rotten flesh from my monster spawner, so he's a very convenient guy to know. Okay. I finally figured out, I know I keep saying that, I figured out the sweet berries. Well, I guess I've finally correctly figured it out. You don't need anything in your hand, just right click it. You can go down and, well, it's better when you don't have sweet berries in your hand because that happens. But if just have an empty hand and go down and hit it. That's all you have to do. And you pick them up unless they pop out the other side. And the butcher buys the sweet berries, so that's a good thing. Did a little bit of expanding. You remember all this was water, and now I've got 5 wheat fields. I've got potatoes over here, still got carrots over there, I've got my sugar cane here. My pumpkins are now surrounding this house. I had a wandering trader come by and sell me some watermelon seeds, so I finally have some watermelons. Alright, I finally also shaved off the back of that cliff that was causing creepers to drop into my house. Can I see it from over here? Yeah, let me get over there. Yeah. See, they can't launch themselves into, well, they can't launch themselves in the house anyway because I put a roof on it, but they really can't now because that's too wide a gap for them to jump. Alright, and I said I had all the hoppers hooked up. I'll show you where they come in. I'll explain this in just a second too. So let's go down here. So we've already been to the portal room, but this is where the hoppers culminate into a dropper. Let's see, can we see the dropper? Yes. So I have a dropper right here that drops all the items from those hoppers into a bubble stream. Let's see, I don't have a hopper clock because I didn't have the space. I've just got a repeater clock. So that's what the tick sound is. It's firing that dropper. And what happens is it drops the drops from all of those farms into this water stream, and it flows up into the collection system. Well, because I have this open, because it just looks cool, I found that some drops were on the floor, and to combat that, I surround, you can see the iron going up. Okay, thank you. So the drops would come out and would just be laying here on the floor, so I surrounded this water stream with hoppers that feed back into the dropper that shoot it back in the stream. So it may take several times to go straight up, but I just thought it looked really cool. I've got the iron, what is that? Iron fence? Can't remember what it's called. Look. Iron bars. I have the iron bars that keep the water column contained. I like it. I've got a villager who sells me paintings, so I've been adding some paintings in here. Alright. Well, we have the monster spawner, monster farm. We've worked on the base. We've worked on the farms. Next time we are going to work on some automated farms. So what I mean is where I've got the pumpkins and the melons just laying out here, we're going to automate that a little bit. And sugarcane, we really can't do anything with carrots, potatoes, and wheat, but we can automate the sugarcane, pumpkins, melons, bamboo, kelp. I'm trying to think, is that all? Yeah, and we'll get those farms going. That's gonna require some redstone, so that'll be a whole lot of fun. I hope you have enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next episode.